My favorite thing in the world is when people care about people who are not like them. And I just saw an example of that here in Denver when I visited the Molly Brown house. So if you don't know, Margaret Brown was the wife of a gold miner who his mine struck gold, and they were first generation Irish immigrants who suddenly became wealthy. And she was on the Titanic when it sank and was a survivor and is known colloquially as the Unsinkable Molly Brown, and her house is here in Denver. And she was a known feminist for women's equality, and there are markers of women's suffrage all over her house. But what especially stood out to me is immediately in the parlor when you walk in, you can see from the newspaper clippings of her campaigning that women and men should have equal rights at sea as well. So while she was campaigning on land to have like equal voting rights, etc., she did not believe it was fair that the limited lifeboats on the Titanic required men to allow women and children to go first. Little boys over the 8 were not allowed to take the lifeboats. And she said that that's not fair. In addition to raising money for a lot of the women who survived the Titanic, because without their husbands, they really didn't have income, she campaigned that we have to let all of those gender norms go, which I found really fascinating. She's also an interesting character from a class standpoint, because as a lot of you probably know, a lot of the third class on the Titanic died as well, because who got the lifeboats first? Of course, first and second class. But she also navigated the world very interestingly with her social mobility story of being a poor Irish immigrant and then suddenly being wealthy, and that she did a lot to appear cultured and to, like, she learned like 4 or 5 languages. She traveled a lot. That's part of why she was on the Titanic. And she was very proud and happy to be in elite society. And yet you could see little things like her struggle with navigating this new class and appreciating being there, and as well as trying to educate the world that she was around about people who were different than them. And that's part of why she apparently learned languages and traveled and told stories and sent them around the newspaper and donated to build churches and such, as she believed in making other cultures more known around her front door.